Amanda Bynes was once one of the most promising young stars in Hollywood, beloved for her comedic timing, charm, and natural talent. She first captured hearts on Nickelodeon's All That, and quickly rose to stardom with her own series, The Amanda Show, which showcased her incredible versatility and hilarious impressions. She became the face of early 2000s teen entertainment, going on to star in hit films like What a Girl Wants, She's the Man, and Hairspray. Amanda was known for her relatable, girl-next-door appeal and quickly became a role model for millions of young fans around the world. However, as her fame grew, so did the pressures of being in the spotlight. Amanda began to struggle with the harsh scrutiny of Hollywood, and her personal life started to unravel. In the early 2010s, Amanda shocked fans with a series of increasingly erratic behaviors and bizarre social media posts that hinted at deeper issues. From multiple run-ins with the law, including DUIs and hit-and-run charges, to her infamous Twitter rants, it became clear that Amanda was battling significant mental health challenges. In 2013, she was placed under a conservatorship after being hospitalized for setting a fire in a stranger's driveway, a shocking event that deeply concerned her fans and family. Since then, Amanda has largely stepped away from acting, choosing instead to focus on her health and personal growth. She enrolled in the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles and expressed a desire to pursue a career in fashion rather than return to the screen. Despite occasional social media appearances and brief statements to the press, Amanda has maintained a mostly private life in recent years. In 2022, her conservatorship officially ended after nearly 9 years, marking a major turning point in her journey toward independence. She has openly shared her struggles with substance abuse and her mental health diagnoses, including bipolar disorder, offering an honest and vulnerable perspective on life as a former child star. While many fans still hope to see her make a big comeback on screen, Amanda has made it clear that her priority is living a healthy, authentic life away from the pressures of Hollywood. Her story serves as a powerful reminder of the dark side of fame and the importance of mental health support. For many, Amanda Bynes will always be remembered for her incredible comedic talent and the joy she brought to so many during her time on TV and in movies. Though she has disappeared from the entertainment industry, her journey continues to inspire conversations about recovery, self-love, and the difficult reality of growing up in the public eye. Amanda's disappearance from TV wasn't simply a career choice, but a necessary step to save her own life and rediscover who she truly is. Fans continue to cheer for her from afar, hoping that whatever path she chooses, she finds peace and happiness. Her story is both heartbreaking and hopeful, a true example of resilience and the complex relationship between stardom and personal well-being. In our second spotlight, we have Rick Moranis, the beloved star who seemed to vanish from Hollywood at the height of his career. Rick Moranis was a comedic genius who lit up the screen in the 1980s and 1990s with unforgettable roles in classics like Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Spaceballs, and Little Shop of Horrors. His quirky charm, perfect comedic timing, and lovable everyman quality made him a favorite among audiences of all ages. He became the go-to actor for roles that required warmth and humor, and his face was a fixture on movie posters and TV screens everywhere. However, at the peak of his success, Rick Moranis made the surprising decision to step away from Hollywood almost entirely. In 1991, his wife Ann Belsky tragically passed away from cancer, leaving him a single father to their 2 young children. Faced with the enormous responsibility of raising his kids alone, Rick chose to prioritize his family over his career. He turned down major film roles and gradually retreated from the public eye, explaining that he simply didn't want to be away from home while his children were growing up. His decision was incredibly rare in an industry that often demands total devotion and sacrifices personal life for fame and money. Over the years, fans speculated about his whereabouts and longed for his return, but Rick stayed true to his choice, doing only occasional voice work and declining on-camera roles. His privacy and dedication to his family earned him deep respect from fans and colleagues alike. For decades, he avoided interviews and public appearances, keeping his focus solely on his kids and his quiet life away from Hollywood's constant attention. In 2020, Rick made a surprise appearance in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds for Mint Mobile, delighting fans and sparking rumors of a potential comeback. While he has since done a few small projects, including signing on for a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel called Shrunk, Rick remains largely out of the limelight, appearing only when he truly feels inspired. His story is a testament to his values and character, showing that sometimes stepping away from the spotlight can be the most heroic act of all. While many celebrities chase fame relentlessly, Rick chose family and personal fulfillment over red carpets and awards. He demonstrated that there is life beyond Hollywood and that true success sometimes means putting loved ones first. Fans continue to adore him, not just for his iconic roles but for his decision to live authentically and protect what mattered most. Even though he disappeared from TV and film for decades, Rick Moranis remains a beloved figure in pop culture, a symbol of kindness, humility, and integrity. His choice is a powerful reminder that fame is fleeting, but the love of family endures forever. Whenever he does decide to step back into the spotlight, his fans will be ready to welcome him with open arms, but if he chooses to stay away, they will still celebrate the legacy he left behind. His journey proves that sometimes the biggest stars shine brightest when they walk away, and Rick Moranis will always hold a special place in the hearts of those who grew up laughing and marveling at his unforgettable characters. In our third feature, we focus on Freddie Prinze Jr., the heartthrob of the late 1990s and early 2000s who seemed to disappear almost overnight. Freddie rose to fame with breakout roles in teen hits like I Know What You Did Last Summer and its sequel, as well as She's All That, where his boyish charm and effortless charisma made him one of Hollywood's most sought-after young stars. His combination of good looks and genuine, likable energy turned him into the ultimate teen idol. As he continued to land roles in romantic comedies and thrillers, his popularity soared, and he quickly became a household name. However, as the early 2000s progressed, Freddie began stepping back from acting, choosing smaller projects, and eventually moving away from leading roles altogether. His last big on-screen appearances were in Scooby-Doo and its sequel, where he played Fred alongside his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Despite the franchise's success, Freddie started feeling disconnected from the Hollywood system. In interviews, he described feeling creatively stifled and frustrated by the industry's politics and shallow expectations. Instead of chasing more movie roles, he shifted his focus to family life. Freddie married Sarah Michelle Gellar in 2002, and together they decided to prioritize raising their children out of the spotlight. Freddie also began exploring his passion for cooking, training as a chef, and even writing his own cookbook titled Back to the Kitchen, which allowed him to express himself in a more personal and meaningful way. His move away from acting was not driven by scandal or failure, but rather a conscious choice to live life on his own terms, without constant scrutiny and pressure. In addition to cooking, Freddie found fulfillment working behind the scenes in the wrestling world, contributing as a producer and creative team member for WWE, something that surprised many fans but made perfect sense given his lifelong love for the sport. Over the years, he has occasionally returned to voice acting, lending his voice to projects like Star Wars Rebels, where he played Kanan Jarrus, a role beloved by fans and celebrated for its depth and emotional weight. Despite his lower profile, Freddie Prinze Jr. remains an admired figure, with many fans respecting his decision to step back and live a balanced, private life. His story is a refreshing example of an actor walking away from the frenzy of fame to focus on passion projects and family happiness. Even though he disappeared from TV and movie screens, his influence continues to be felt, and he is often cited as one of the most genuine stars of his generation. Today, Freddie occasionally shares glimpses of his life on social media, where fans get to see his culinary creations, his adventures with his family, and his reflections on life away from Hollywood. Through it all, he has maintained a reputation for humility and authenticity that makes his fans love him even more. Whether or not he ever makes a full return to the screen, Freddie Prinze Jr. has already left an indelible mark on pop culture and will always be remembered as the charming teen icon who chose a quieter, more fulfilling path when he could have easily continued chasing the Hollywood spotlight forever. In our fourth story, we turn the spotlight on Dave Chappelle, one of the most groundbreaking and influential comedians of his generation, who shocked the entertainment world when he disappeared at the height of his fame. Chappelle rose to legendary status with Chappelle's Show, which premiered on Comedy Central in 2003 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon. With his fearless satire and sharp observations on race, society, and pop culture, he pushed boundaries and created some of the most memorable sketches in television history. By its second season, Chappelle's Show was a massive success, and Dave was offered a $50 million deal to continue. However, instead of signing, he made an unexpected and bold decision to walk away. In 2005, Chappelle abruptly left the show during production of the third season and disappeared to South Africa without any warning, leaving fans and the entertainment industry stunned. Rumors flew about his mental health, possible substance abuse, and the pressures of fame. Later, Dave clarified that the intense expectations, creative disagreements, and the feeling that his work was being misunderstood and exploited were too much to bear. He also expressed discomfort with the way certain sketches were being interpreted and the environment around him in Hollywood, which felt toxic and limiting. For nearly a decade, Chappelle stayed largely out of the spotlight, performing small stand-up shows in unexpected places and turning down major offers from networks and studios. He lived a quieter life with his family on a farm in Ohio, away from the glare of Hollywood. This retreat allowed him to regain perspective and reconnect with his love for pure stand-up comedy without commercial pressures. In 2013, he began making a slow and cautious return to the public eye, performing surprise sets and embarking on a series of sold-out stand-up tours that reminded everyone of his genius. In 2016, he signed a groundbreaking deal with Netflix, releasing a series of stand-up specials that re-established him as one of the most important voices in comedy. These specials reignited debates and showcased his fearless willingness to tackle controversial topics head-on, solidifying his reputation as a cultural provocateur and truth-teller. While he remains a somewhat divisive figure due to his unfiltered approach and willingness to tackle taboo subjects, his influence on comedy and culture is undeniable. Chappelle's disappearance from TV was not just an escape, but a conscious act of self-preservation and artistic integrity. It was a powerful statement against the machine of fame and a demonstration that creative freedom sometimes demands sacrifice. His story is an example of a star who had the courage to walk away at the peak of his career to protect his soul and his art. Today, Chappelle continues to perform live and release specials on his own terms, remaining one of the most respected and debated comedians in the world. While his journey was unexpected and filled with mystery, it ultimately shaped him into the artist he is now, free from the chains of corporate control. His disappearance and return have become part of his legend, a testament to his complexity and his refusal to conform. Whether you love or criticize him, Dave Chappelle's impact on comedy and popular culture is everlasting, and his decision to disappear remains one of the boldest moves ever made by a modern entertainer. For our fifth and final story, we turn our attention to Meg Ryan, the queen of romantic comedies in the 1990s, who seemed to disappear from the screen almost as quickly as she rose to the top. Meg Ryan became America's sweetheart, with unforgettable roles in classics like When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, and You've Got Mail. Her charming, quirky, and relatable characters made her a favorite among audiences worldwide, and her chemistry with co-stars like Tom Hanks defined an entire era of feel-good cinema. Her success made her one of the most bankable and beloved actresses of her time, and she seemed poised to maintain her reign in Hollywood indefinitely. However, as the early 2000s approached, Meg's career took an unexpected turn. Her highly publicized affair with actor Russell Crowe during the filming of Proof of Life became tabloid fodder and marked a major turning point in her public image. Previously seen as innocent and wholesome, She suddenly became the subject of scandal headlines and harsh criticism, which dramatically shifted how audiences and industry insiders perceived her. At the same time, her film choices began to shift toward more dramatic and darker roles, such as her performance in The Cut, which received mixed reviews and left longtime fans divided. Her attempt to break away from the rom-com mold was seen by some as a bold move, but others viewed it as a misstep that further distanced her from the roles that made her a household name. Frustrated by the invasive media scrutiny and the pressure to maintain her America's sweetheart image, Meg began to retreat from the spotlight. She took fewer roles, made fewer public appearances, and eventually stepped away from Hollywood almost entirely. In interviews years later, Meg spoke candidly about how exhausting and disillusioning the industry had become, and how she no longer felt creatively fulfilled by the roles she was being offered. She described feeling objectified and boxed in by the narrow expectations placed upon her. Instead of continuing to battle for parts she didn't believe in, she chose to prioritize her personal life, focusing on raising her children and exploring other creative interests, including directing. In 2015, she made her directorial debut with Ithaca, a coming-of-age drama in which she also acted. While the film did not receive widespread acclaim, it marked an important step for Meg in reclaiming her creative voice and redefining her relationship with the industry. Over the years, Meg Ryan has largely stayed out of the public eye, living a quiet and peaceful life away from Hollywood's relentless glare. She occasionally makes appearances at events or in interviews, always radiating the same warmth and intelligence that made her famous, but now with a newfound sense of independence and self-awareness. Fans continue to express their desire to see her return to the big screen, but for Meg, the decision to disappear was about finding true happiness beyond fame and applause. Her story is a poignant reminder that even the brightest stars sometimes need to step away to rediscover themselves and heal from the pressures of constant scrutiny. While she may no longer dominate the box office, Meg Ryan's legacy as the ultimate romantic comedy icon remains secure, and her choice to live on her own terms only adds depth to her story. Whether or not she ever stages a major comeback, Meg Ryan will always be remembered for her unforgettable performances and the joy she brought to millions around the world. Her disappearance from TV and film wasn't a fall from grace, but a graceful exit toward a life of authenticity and creative freedom, a move that continues to inspire those who believe in following one's own path, no matter what the world expects.